Welcome back, hockey fans. This is Big T, and you are now joining me for episode number 2 in Be a GM mode of Vancouver Canucks. Today, we are going to make a couple tweaks on our team because last episode we went through our roster and decided that this was a team worth just tweaking a little bit and hopefully winning a Stanley Cup in the next year or so. As we said in our last episode, we had a couple of players that we wanted to get rid of and a couple of players that looked very promising. There was Joe Thornton, Patrick Marleau, and Jerome McGinley. Realistically, because of our cap issues, I think we're only going to have room for one, possibly two of the players. My priority me would be for a winger because we have all our center positions filled. So I was thinking either Iginla or Marleau, and out of those two, to fit our team a little better, I think that Marleau would be the choice. So that is the player that we're going to go after first. Now we have a very limited budget, and I think it'll show over here. We're at 69.6 million of our $71 million salary cap. So we're going to need to give away almost as much salary as we're taking. We can take a little bit more than we're giving away, but not very much. This is very challenging to make trades when you have very little cap space, as the Vancouver Canucks obviously do. Now, Patrick Marleau, 88 overall, left wing. That is the kind of player I think we would need, definitely to bolster our second line. Would be good enough to play on the first line, but at this point here, he would have to take over Verbata or one of the Sedins, and I'm not ready to break up that line, not yet. Maybe during the year, but not at the moment. A sniper, left wing, Patrick Marleau. Let's try to get him. So we'll put him here. Let's look at our roster. As I had said in the last episode, there was no reason to keep Burrows because of his extremely high salary, and I was also hoping to get rid of Chris Higgins. However, they do not want Burrows and they do not want Higgins. So what we need to try to find is a player that they do want who can help us reach our trade level so they're closer together. At this point here, I'm looking, and Jordan Subban, seems to be the right choice. He does have potential to become a 7th D. I'm not looking for a 7th D. Right now, we're looking for results now, and this is really going to help on our trade value. As you can see, the two blue bars are virtually the same, so let's see if this trade will go through as is. Trade rejected. San Jose can live with what you're asking us to send your way. We're glad to see you're paying attention to our trade block surplus. That said, we just aren't all that interested in what you're offering, even though it's quite close to fair value. So at the moment, they're not happy with this, so we need to sugarcoat this just a little more. Let's see if there's some draft picks they may be looking for. They're looking for the first, second, and third for this year and next year. I'd be willing to part with a third round draft pick to make this trade go through. Now, if we look, my line is slightly longer than their line, meaning that this is a deal favoring the San Jose Sharks more than the Vancouver Canucks. Let's give this one a try. Trade rejected. Alright. Ultimately, however, considering the need of this offer would address, we don't think it makes much sense to take on the salary of Alexander Burrows. That is what I would have to agree with. We're trying to get rid of him for that same reason. So let's see if we can do something. So what we're going to try to do, we're going to try to keep some of Alexander Burrows' salary, but at the same time, we're going to ask them to keep some of Patrick Marleau's salary. Little trick here. This might be cheating a little bit, but we really need to make this trade go through. So I'm going to keep $2 million of Alexander Burrows' salary, and I'm going to ask them to keep $2 million of Patrick Marleau's salary. All right, and there we go. So now this trade is league approved. Alexander Burrows ends up being a $2.3 million player, and for us, Patrick Marleau ends up being a $4.6 million player. Let's see if this works. Trade has been accepted. On behalf of the San Jose Sharks, I accept your offer. We'll see you on the ice. So we now have Patrick Marleau in our midst, and we are now that much closer to becoming that Stanley Cup team. Now the problem is that we did get rid of a prospect defense in Jordan Subban. We did get rid of a third round pick, but we did manage to get rid of Adam Burrows. And even though we kept $2 million of his salary, they also kept $2 million of Patrick Marleau's. But if you look, Alexander Burrows had a 1 year contract left. Patrick Marleau has 2 years left. So what's going to happen on this is Burrow's contract ends up at the end of the year, so we're taking $2 million. Patrick Marleau has another year after this one, so in the end, San Jose Sharks will end up paying $4 million of his salary. We're only going to be paying $2 million of Burrow's salary. It's a win-win in the end, on our behalf anyway. All right, so let's see if there was another player we could get. I don't think it's very realistic to get Thornton just because of the salary. So let's go to forwards. Joe Thornton, what is his salary? Yeah, see, he's doing $6.75 million. That's that's way too much. All I have left that I really want to get rid of is Higgins, and the trade values just are nowhere near. So what we're gonna try to go for Jerome McGinley. Let's go over to Colorado and see how we can deal with them. Now, ideally, when you're trading, you want to trade outside of your conference because these players can come back and play against you many times. But that being said, we're going by a strict guideline that we're only taking players that are on trading blocks. That doesn't give us very much choice, which narrowed us down to having to trade our players back into the Western Conference. But in the long run, we're going to end up ahead, I guarantee you. All right, so we wanted Jerome McGinley, and our player that we want to get rid of is Chris Higgins. Now, problem here is there's a major salary cap issue here. So if we're going to want Jerome McGinley on our team, we're going to have to find a way to save some salary. So let's see what we have in our organization that could give us a little bit more money that we would not mind giving up. Let's go over to salaries and let's sort by here. Because really, in the end of the day, we are making cap space, and we're going to have to get rid of players that maybe we don't want to. Players like, for example, Doug Dorsett. He's got 4 years at $2.5 million. It's not a bad contract, but it's money that we can use. So let's add him in here. Let's add another one just to make sure. Lyndon Vay. Now, this is a younger player. He's 24 years old. He's a medium potential top 9 forward. So, line 2, line 3, possibly, line 1 if he gets in a miraculous jump. However, he's 24 years old, which means that he has this year, possibly next year to grow, and then he'll be at his potential. At 80, center, playmaker. We've got plenty of centers. I am happy with what I have right now. I'm ready to add him in, and at a contract of $1 million, it's going to help us with our money problems. So let's throw him in here. London Bay. So now I've got enough players, but now we have to take some players back because Colorado will have too many players. So let's go get their least valuable players. We'll sort this out this way. Least valuable. Martinson. Sure. Is that going to work? Still too many skaters, so let's add another one. Winchester. Both of these players are non-impact players. They're never going to play in the NHL, and they're not necessarily going to be useful for us in the future. But right now, their only purpose is to even out the salary, so that way we can actually get Jerome McGinley on our team. Now, the league is approving this. Our line is bigger, slightly bigger. Let's see if this is accepted. Trade rejected. They've got good news and bad news. The good news is that you've crafted a proposal that in other circumstances the Colorado Avalanche would be inclined to agree is fair market deal for what you're after. Now the bad news. The need we are looking to fill isn't dire enough that we'd be willing to absorb the contract of Derek Dorsett. Let's try that trick one more time. Now keep in mind that Derek Dorsett has 4 years, so we're going to be paying this penalty for 4 years. So let's try to minimize it to 500,000. Now Derek Dorsett becomes a player who is 2.1 million. Let's give that a try. Okay, they're telling us that they're going to have to do some moves in order to make this happen. I'm okay with that. They've accepted the trade. So now we have Jerome Iginla, we have Patrick Marleau, we got rid of Higgins, we got rid of Burrows. Let's see what our team can look like now. Now we're definitely not out of the woods. What's going to happen here is we're going to have to figure out how to set up this roster and manage to remain under the cap. So let's go to the contracts, the roster screen. Let's go to edit lines. This is what they are suggesting our lines to be if we were to play today. I don't agree with these lines. I want to keep my Sedins together. So let's do this. We have Sutter. I would prefer to have Horvat there. So let's switch him over. What a dirty line this is. Marleau, Horvat, and Jerome McGinley. It's an old line for 2 of the 3 players, but it is an effective line. Another great scoring line. Then we go down to a little bit of a rougher line with Brendan Press, Brandon Sutter, and Yannick Hansen. Grinder, 2-way forward, Grinder. Love that line. It's looking messy. And finally over here we have a right wing and Jesse Winchester. That's going back down. Barchi, I don't really like snipers on line 4. That should go down. And Vertanen, Jake, I want to keep up on my NHL squad because that's where they think he belongs at this point. As for my defense, Hamius and Edler, Tanev and Weber, Spiza and Bartkowski. I would love to have something a little stronger than this, but at the moment, this is going to have to do because I've got no cap room. And for my goaltenders, all right, let's go to goalies. Ryan Miller and Jacob Markstrom. Miller, great goaltender. Wish he had a bit less of a paycheck coming with that. We've got too many players that have too much salary taken up. That's the problem that we have right now. Now let's go see what we have in the rosters in the system. Who is my strong players here? Do I have anybody? Okay. Here's a fourth liner. Ronald's Kennens. We will bring him up. And let's see. Jones, he can be my center. Blair Jones, do I need him up? He's looking okay. Let's see who's my fourth liner here. Cracknell. Adam Cracknell. No, so I would like to bring up Jones. So multiple. I would like to bring up Kennens. And let's switch that over to the NHL team now. Here we were going to bring down Barchi and Winchester. Alright, let's do this switch. Confirm. And there we go. We have our full roster. Problem is right now is we're very tight on the cap, and we're gonna have to figure that in the future. So let's go to edit lines, go with best lines. Once again, we're gonna have to switch Marlowe with Sedin. Now these switches can be done anytime this year. If something's not working out, we can switch them around. For the start, this is what I'm thinking would look best for me. And let's see anybody on who is scratched on my team. Nobody scratched. Problem with that is there will be injuries, and when there is injuries, I'm going to need to take care of bringing some players up, and it's going to be a hassle because we're so tight on the salary cap. Alright, so let's go to edit lines. Let's set up our starting lineups, at least that. This is good for the first one. Let's go to special teams, power play, the two Sedins and Verbata. Funny they would put them together. Marlowe, Sutter, and Iginla. Okay, we're going to try that. I'm going to leave Horvat off. I would actually love to be able to give Vertan and some power play time. I just don't know where to fit him yet. Yeah, not sure where. We'll see how things go as we go along. 4-man power play. Looks fine to me. Penalty kill. Horvat. Yannick Hansen. Blair Jones. Let's see, what do you have? Defense awareness 81. None of my new players. Iginla. Where's my Iginla boy? Jerome, come on up here. I'm pretty sure that you are going to be a penalty killer. Yeah, his defense is much higher. Okay, let's switch him over with Sutter. That way he can be the center. And 3-man penalty kill, Horvat. And over here, let's get Sutter. Changing current line. Defense looks fine on that. Extras. Okay, goalie scratched. Let's see who I have on the 3-on-3. Very important for OT. I am actually going to go 2 forwards and a defenseman on my 3-on-3 lines. So Henrik Sedin, obviously the choice to go here is going to be his brother Daniel Sedin. Changing current line. And over here, we are going to put Suitor with, let's go with Iginla. Changing current line. And Horvat is going to go with Marlowe. Alright, changing current line, and there we go. We have our first lines, extra attackers, and shootout. Verbata, Sedin, Marlowe, Iginla. No question, this is the way I want my team to look. My goalies are set up this way. Miller's my starter, Markstrom is my backup. This is looking fine to me. Let's go check the morale, see if there's anything going on. No meetings in the NHL. No meetings in the AHL. Let's go set up the AHL lines quickly. Edit lines. Let's go to AHL. Options. Go to best line, see what they're going to suggest. This is what they're suggesting to me. I'm going to let them go. One thing that I want to see is who is scratched. Do I have anything that is high potential? Medium, bottom six. Medium, low. Okay, so there's nothing really over here to take a look at. Everything seems good. We seem to be ready to begin. Free agency, I would love to be able to get some free agents. Free agency. I've got $500,000 of cap space, so affordable. Highest ranked is going to be over here, Ray Whitney. Maybe I'd like to pick that up just in case. Okay, so offensive defenseman. His defense really isn't that good. Ryan Whitney. Did I say Ray? Nothing to be very impressed about. Well, let's go see Rome over here, what kind of player he is. Aaron Rome, defensive defenseman. Sure. You know what? Let's sign him to a small contract. We'll do 575, two-way contract. Let's offer that. That way we're going to have just an extra player just for a little bit of depth. Alright, so we have that taken care of. Let's assign our scout. Let's go to scouting assignment. Let's go to the OHL. We're going to scout. We can pretty much get anything. So let's go 1 month at a time. We'll switch all around North America and we'll see how that goes. So now we're pretty much ready to give it a shot to start. Let's go see. No, we don't want to get out. Let's go to the hub, sim to next preseason game. So giving us their salary cap. Oh, does that mean the salary cap went up at all? Our overall rating 89, 89, 89. It's not too bad. There's no team meetings. Let's just go quickly look. Just want to make sure maybe we have a little bit of extra cap that we can spend. Free agent. No, we have no cap space. So let's sim through the preseason. See how our teams looks through the preseason. Means nothing, but at least we're going to have a little idea. So that'll bring us up to October 5th. So let's go up to here. And we start off with a loss. Adam Rome offer accepted, which means we have at least a backup, something to go just in case we do need that due to injuries. Another loss, not doing too good. Another loss. There's our first win of the year in preseason. So preseason wasn't very promising. 2 wins, 1 loss, 3 overtime losses. However, it is preseason, and out of a possible five, six, out of a possible 12 points, we got 7. So it's not the end of the world. We did better than 500. I'm hoping for a lot more. But we're going to wrap it up here. And on our next episode, we are going to continue on through the first part of the season, hopefully making it to the All Star break. I appreciate the fact that you've spent this time listening to me. Hope you agree with some of the choices. I would love it if you guys would subscribe, leave me some comments, tell me what you think I should do. I'll certainly respond to all comments and pay attention. And let's try to build this team together. So I'm Big T. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.